What's up YouTube, Never Lucky Pulse here, today showing you my Manadome Deck Profile post Phantom Nightmare and post Banlist. I adjusted the deck against Fire Kings and Labyrinth because these decks will be the quote-unquote meta decks in the upcoming format. That's why I decided to do something against it, and you will see some main deck options plus one spicy tech in the side deck. But first off, with the main deck, the standard ratio for the combo pieces is pretty much standard in every deck: double Visas, triple Roomhart, triple Reichard, triple Samsara, and triple Meek. So each one of them is a one card starter, and yeah, you have basically to max out on them. Visa Starfrost not needed as a free off because I play the T element field spell. If you don't play the T element field spell, I would suggest playing 3 copies, but 2 is mandatory. For the Fenrir package, triple Fenrir and 1 Gashiro Skaklo. You have to play it, obviously, very strong. For the field spells, triple Calarium, double Reichobia. This is mandatory. 1 Pelor Rhino, you can play it, but you don't have to. I like it because I want to go full combo every time. It's not guaranteed that you will have Reichard, Roomhart, and Visa Starfrost in your combo line. That's why the Tier element field spell is very much needed to search for visas, and then you can link off the visas synchro monster to get Reichobia, to get Reichard. Otherwise you will miss some combo pieces, and this one will enable you every time the full combo. 1 terraforming and 1 obsession, obviously. Very good if you get nipped, you can still continue with your combo, destroying your nip token, searching for peaceful planet and continuing your combo. For the spells, double Arrival, 1 Rota, and 1 Counter Trap. I decided to main deck the Counter Trap again because of the Anti-Zeus. Anti-Zeus is very strong. If you manage to stop your opponent, he can go into the Anti-Zeus, destroying your SP Little Knight and bouncing your Disparter back, so you won't have full combo next turn because you wasted your Meeks, you wasted your Disparter basically, you can't summon him back, and Baron won't have his negate basically most of the times because he will use it on your opponent's turn, and your board won't be enough to OTK. That's why I decided to include this counter trap back again. It helps you to protect your board, and sometimes you open it, it's a dead draw, but whatever. You have to take the risk because the reward is much greater in my opinion to have this one. Yeah, it's super busted. Okay, next up for the Hind Traps, triple Imperm against basically every deck, triple Ash, mandatory, double DD Crow and double Ghost Bell. DD Crow and Ghost Bell, very good against Rescue Ace, against Fire Kings, and against Labyrinth. Those decks are your biggest enemies. And with DD Crow and Ghost Bell, you get more consistent going second hands and better likelihood to stop your opponent, because Droplet alone is not enough against Fire Kings because they have so many interruptions. Your Droplet won't be enough, or your talents. That's why you need to stop your opponent somehow, and these cards will help you to do so. If you open 2 of them, you basically can stop your opponent most of the times. 1 of them will cripple him, but 2 is a very nice number to stop your opponent. And these are power hand traps against these decks. I mean, the Crow against Garunix hurts so much, plus the Bell on the big Welcome Labyrinth. Very impactful. That's why I decided to main deck the hand traps. Not going for Whaler, Droll, Nip, whatever. You need the space. If you have Nip and Fenrir, it sucks you can't summon your Fenrir. So I decided to go for these hand traps. Plus the Nip and Droll are not always live against Fire Kings or the Labyrinth deck. That's why I decided to cut them and include these ones in the main deck. Okay, now to the side deck. We are playing 1 Ghost Bell, the 3rd copy against Labyrinth, against Fire Kings. A triple copy of Droll against combo decks in the mirror match against Dragonlink, etc. Very strong. Triple Thrust for your one-off targets, the Lightning Storm, the Evenly Matched, the Herald of the Abyss against Purely, Tactics, and D-Barrier going first. So you basically play 3 copy of every card. The one of Cold by the Grave going first, and Necro Valley plus Demise of the Land, the spicy tech. All the tier 1 decks in the upcoming format are using the graveyard, and with this card you insta-win because every effect will be negated. Fire King deck can't play because every effect is resolving in the graveyard or activates in the graveyard, moves all the time cards from the graveyard to back to the hand, summoning to the field, etc. Everything will get negated. And against Labyrinth, the same story. Big Welcome can't activate because it moves cards from the graveyard. All the furniture stuff won't resolve. The new trap, which copies the effect of a trap, won't resolve because it moves also from the graveyard. So this card is very, very insane. And you can search it with Terraforming and with Demise of the Land. So you have basically 3 copies in the main deck. And if you open, for example, Terraforming plus Room Hut, you can save the Terraforming for this card and going with Room Hut for your basic full combo. And after you are finished with your combo, you can activate Lancro Rally and basically win the game. So your opponent can't do anything. And yeah, very strong against the Fire King matchup and the Labyrinth matchup. Plus, also quite nice against the mirror match. I mean, your opponent can't summon the Meeks back, your opponent can't go for Astrolaut, and it hinders him a lot. So yeah, this is a very cool tag. And this card is not always dead. I mean, if you have Necro Rally already in hand, you can still activate this card in the end phase or main 2. If your opponent exhausts all his resources and summons his last monster, you can activate this, going for Calarium, whatever, getting your follow-up for the next turn. So yeah, it's very cool, these cards. I decided to go only for 1 each because 3 copies are enough. You don't want to brick on your Necro Rallies. Obviously, you want to have your full combo. That's why only 1 of each. And I think it's very fine. I tested them and they worked out very, very strong, especially against Tier Element. It was hilarious. I activated Necro Rally and Tier Element couldn't do anything. Every mill was negated, and yeah, that was basically game. So yeah, that's it for the side deck. Now I will show you the extra deck. For the extra deck, 1 Appaloosa, 1 Cross Sheep, double Lightheart, 1 SB Little Knight, and 1 Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer very strong in the format. You can summon Little Knight back from your opponent's graveyard, having access to access code if you decide to play him. But yeah, other than that, a very cool card to extend your combos. 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Ice Jade, 1 Crimson Dragon, 1 Cheng Ying, 1 Disparter, the Visas Synchro, and the level 6 Synchro, plus double Astrolaut. I'm not playing the Access Core Talker at the moment. I decided to cut him for the Ice Jade Synchro because the Ice Jade Synchro is very, very strong against Fire Kings. Fire Kings are destroying cards on the field, and this card protects all your monsters from destruction, means your Fire King matchup will get much easier if this girl is on the field, because she will protect everything. Plus, if the Fire King spell is activated, you can chain her effect, banishing the continuous spell, which will banish the card, plus not resolving the effect, means the Fire King deck won't be able to get the field spell and wasted the continuous spell, and your monsters are unaffected by destruction. So very cool card. Plus Cheng Ying, very strong in this deck. And with the DD Crow, you can trigger him every time you want. Plus the counter trap can shuffle itself back. If you banish the counter trap, it's a spell P2. You can shuffle 3 Meeks back to the graveyard, for example, or 1 Meek, double Room Hut, whatever. So 3 Manadium monsters, and this will trigger him as well. So you have many trigger spots to activate his effect. He's very cool. Non-targeting banish is very, very strong. That's why I decided to cut the Access Core Talker. I rarely summoned him, and I think if you're going first, you will put a lot of bodies on the field. Cheng Ying, Palooza, Baron de Fleur, Disparter, plus the counter trap and maybe some hand traps. That's more than enough to stop your opponent. Even against Super Poly, you will probably win. And going second, you won't be able to summon Access Code most of the times because you will have limited resources. You have to break the opponent's board in order to summon the big boys. And Access Code needs a lot of resources. You won't be able to summon him all the time. But Astrolaut is an easy summon with Cross Sheep. You will be able to summon her more often than Access Code Talker or the Cheng Ying. That's why I decided to cut him. You can replace Access Code with the Ice Jade, but Cheng Ying is mandatory in this build because of the DD Crows and the counter trap. Okay guys, to sum up the deck is very, very strong. Going first, you basically win all the time if you're not eating the Droll or the Nibiru. Other than that, going second, you have also some options with the Kashtiro package with all the hand traps. There's a decent chance that you will stop your opponent. You rarely brick with this deck, so it's possible to brick. Basically, you have all the 1-card starters. You can lose against 1 hand trap if you, for example, have only Room Hut. You summon him, search for Meek, going into the level 6 synchro, and if you get the imperm there, yeah, it sucks. You have to pass turn, but it happens very, very rare. and most of the time you will go full combo and win the first game, and the hand traps will help you winning the game despite losing the dice roll. That's the basic theory behind it. Some builds are playing the droplet, the tactics, etc., but Droplet and Tactics are not that great against Labyrinth, and not good against Fire King at all, because Fire Kings are triggering in the graveyard, summoning something back and shooting then, because you can't negate the destruction effect with Droplet because it resolves in the graveyard. And if the monster gets summoned, destroys one card on the field, so you can't Droplet, you can't stop the destruction. So you need to stop your opponent in some other ways with the hand traps, because, yeah, like I mentioned before, the Droplet is not worth playing, in my opinion, in the upcoming format. You are better off with the hand traps, and sometimes one hand trap is enough. Two are definitely enough to stop your opponent, and if you have the Kashtira package as well in your starting end, you are basically good to go. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Drop a like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Bye!